Hari Om Shraddha.
Hari Om, ma'am.
Okay, nice to have you here. Um, this meeting I have set up so that we can understand more about your experiences in yoga journey and the recent experiences you have had in your teachers training sessions. So I have a few questions which I have already noted down for you, and this session is recorded. So you should be able to share only as much as you want to share. And you can stop me anytime if you don't want to answer any question. Okay? Yeah. First thing, tell me something about your yoga journey. How did it start? And when did you start? And how did it happen? Tell me.
So, if I have to put it in right words, it's not me finding yoga, it's like yoga found me. And at a time when I was dealing with a lot of personal issues related to my body and mental health, is when I actually saw you taking classes, and then I realized that okay, I have someone approachable in a very very nearby, like the proximity is like very close. So why not see this thing? Because we all have heard so much about yoga, but then what exactly it is, it just happens. It can happen anytime, any day. With it, the trigger point can be anything. So and I went there. I spoke to you about my challenges because that time I was specifically dealing with my back issue. So I had, to be honest, slip disc, one disc that had bulged, and that was the problem that I was dealing with, and that has caused a lot of mental issues also. Because when you have pain, you start to think only about pain, like every other problem of your life becomes secondary when you have a health problem becomes the primary problem, and that takes a toll. And you told me that, Shraddha, just come, see how it goes, do as much as you can, and take it extremely slow. And from that day till today, there's no going back. I am on that path. I'm actually doing very, very slow because our connect also happened like 5, 6 years ago. So I think, and I took my training like last month. So I think I'm pretty slow, but then I'm very content about it, that I'm happy that I was slow because,
Around 2019.
yeah, 2019 and November precisely.
Yes.
Before COVID hit us. So
Yes.
it has to. That's what I said. Like yoga found me when it was like when you don't expect things to happen is when things happen to you. And then I was so slow in my practices, in chanting mantras, and in doing asanas, in doing meditation, breathing. I remember doing three Surya Namaskaras for like good 5, 6 months. Only three Surya Namaskaras, that too with modifications. So it's so slow, but then I was not upset that I am, because in my class, in that class, everyone was doing like more, like way more than what I was doing. But then I
I
was
was.
still happy.
Mm.
I was still happy that okay, I'm doing. At least I'm doing.
Yes, and I
Because
still remember you
uh,
asking, when will I be able to, do that. I think you remember once we did a formation in yoga where one of our legs were, another person's leg, and we did a circular formation. And that day, you took the pictures of all of us because you were not
yeah,
able to raise the leg to the hip level. So I still
yeah.
remember that day, and I keep giving your example to so many people who are in the class and who actually come inquiring about yoga and have so many doubts about, should they start the practice? How should they start the practice? And will they be able to do all these things? I take your example and I tell them, you should have the determination to stick to this and believe the practice, believe your own practice, and
Mm.
continue to do that. Most of us maybe we drop out because we don't see results immediately. And it doesn't
Correct.
come like that. In yoga, results don't come immediately. And sometimes we don't even realize even if the results have come also. And we realize
Correct.
only when another good or a bad situation strikes us. Oh, yes, I'm able to deal with it. That is
Yes,
the kind of thing, right?
yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people confuse yoga to an exercise. So I think that's a myth that needs to be busted, that yoga is
Correct.
not an exercise. It's
Correct.
there are a lot of definitions of yoga, but in simple layman terms, just sync your mind, body, and soul.
Very good. See, that's the intent of yoga also. Yes, as you said, there are so many definitions in Bhagavad Gita or Hatha Yoga Pradipika, so many
Yes.
Upanishads. There are so many definitions, but in the urban living, in the urban setup that we are in as of now, I think we have to simply synchronize the mind, the body, the breath, all of that. And I think only then we can experience yoga happening to us. So tell me, Shraddha, you started your yoga practice, but why did you move? Why did you think you should teach? That is
Yeah,
the
yes,
next
yes.
question. Yes.
Yes. So what happens is, like, you are doing yoga, you are attending classes, and there comes a point that you start to feel that maybe you can do more, because a class follows a certain pattern, because there are a lot of students and they have a different body type, a lot. And in modern setup, not like in ashrams or yoga school, things happen differently. But in
Correct.
modern setups like where we teach, so it's like you have to plan your teaching according to everyone. And then I started to feel that, okay, let me take a break and see if I can do by my own. Like in Ashtanga yoga, there are two types of Ashtanga yoga. There is one where class led or someone teaches you, and there is a Mysore style where you do on your own. So I kind of, after 2.5 years of being with you, I kind of hopped on to that version where I wanted to experience what all I can do. And when I was doing it, I actually understood that it is very normal for people to feel little stagnated on what you are doing, because you think you can do a lot more and what you can. And then I kept reading, I started reading, I started doing things on my own. And then I took cues from your classes. Like, I still, even though I might not go to a class now, but then I start my practice the way you taught me, like doing yoga with a guru and doing yoga yourself. There's a big difference, and after being with guru only, you should do yourself. So I felt that maybe whatever I have learned, I can also tell people this, that it's not only yoga is for everyone. So there are a lot of institutes, I should not name any, where they sell it like a commodity.
Correct.
And
Correct. See, sometimes I think it is required, but yes, when you start understanding it, then that bubble is burst. No, this is
Hmm.
not. I came here for something, and it is more than what I want, and it is more than
Exactly.
what I thought it was. So the next question which I have for you is the same thing. Did you ever feel stagnated in your practice?
Yes, yes, absolutely. A lot of time in a class also, and while doing myself also, like, it's so vast and it's so humongous, and yoga is not just the physical asanas, it's just one aspect of it. So
Correct.
there's breathing, there's philosophy, there's anatomy. In fact, to understand one advanced asana, there's a lot of philosophy and anatomy and breathing that comes in to maintain them. And I've also understood that if I find something easy, I should just try to hold that, be it asana, meditation, or pranayam, because that's what we do very frequently. I should hold it for long,
Correct.
and then, oh, it's not easy anymore. It's now. So this comes with both, like when you go to someone, to a guru, and then when you do on your own. So that learning is what that for
Okay.
me.
So my next question is, did any changes in your life, like job change? For example, I don't know if there was a job change, but any such change like marriage or job change or shifting your home from one place to another? See, because I always see people giving me reasons like that. No, ma'am, I had to shift my house, so I couldn't join, and that goes on for months. And I have had reasons like, I went to my home, which is like 1,000 kilometers away, and I took a break for 2, 3 weeks, and that went on for 2, 3 months. I couldn't get back. And job change. People say I've joined a new place, and it's very demanding, and I can't do. So, has any of such situations have you encountered? And if you have encountered, did it deter you from making that change shift and prioritize something else than yoga? How did you deal with that?
Yeah, so I got married. I think that's one change. And because I got married, I had to switch my house. And when I was single, also, COVID was there. So I had to move from the place where I was living. I went back home. Then I stayed in a yoga school. So it happens, it keeps on happening. Work gets demanding. Even if you don't change job, it will get demanding. Not every day is going to be the same. So it's like what I look at it in 24 hours, I should be able to take out minimum of 30 minutes, if not 1 hour, minimum 30 minutes for my own self, be it anywhere. And that can be doing simple Kapalbhati or Nadi Shodhan Pranayam, or just sitting and chanting Om for that matter, because that's the sound that can do wonders. So it can be anything. It need not be like very strenuous or very difficult things to do. It can be any simple thing. So when I go to my in-laws' place, so because I live there with a family of 6 people, when we go there, we are like 6 people living together. So I cannot find like a big space or a room to do yoga. So in my room only, room where we stay, I just like put my mat, I sit and I just do like 10 Surya Namaskars and some Kapalbhati, something, because it is for me and it's a lot of, and it's not a lot of effort to be honest. It's just
Yeah.
mind.
Yes, it's all in the mind. Correct, correct. You just need, even I would say, all the practitioners, like, start with 15 minutes. I know nothing
Yeah,
happens in 15 minutes. Nothing happens, but just that 15 minutes of just being in that frame of mind, thinking about it. Either you do breathing or
correct.
asanas, or you do mudras, or you do bandhas, anything, whatever you do, just be there. And you will only, extend that 15 minute to maybe 20 minutes after a few, months or weeks, and then it will go on. Once you get to understand the real essence of yoga, I don't think anybody will stop the practice. They always
Exactly.
understand, and more so that they'll be eager to, just like how you did, they'll be eager to spread the message of yoga. When it has helped me, when it has helped you, why should it not help anybody else, right? So
Yeah.
I think that is one thing which we understand. Very good that you are, taking time in a family full of people, minimum space. Very good. Yeah, I really appreciated. I appreciate that. And what I want to know is, what is your perception? How did yoga evolve for you? I know it is a very big question and it can't be answered in one sitting. I know that. But like, what was that moment? You have that chunky kind of moment, right? It happens like, no, 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 I should do this. So, that decision making moment, that moment where you get clarity. What was that? Was it COVID or was it after COVID, or when did it happen? That moment, you tell me, that moment of
It
evolution.
it just evolves. Like once you take control of your mind, so yoga, so the entire day your mind tells you, oh, I'm hungry. A lot of time you're not even hungry, but your mind says you're hungry. A lot of
Right.
time you don't need a brownie, but your mind says you need a brownie or an ice cream. So
Mm,
don't let your mind tell you, you tell your mind. So I
mm,
think that's what I have understood. Like if I can tell myself, so one of my teachers in this yoga school, he was an example. So what happened? It was very cold. It was very cold, and he wore like a simple cloth that I'm wearing, like a summer simple clothes. And I was in like layers and still freezing. And I'm asking, sir, you are not feeling cold. It's so cold outside. Like, look at me. He's like, it's cold. What to do? I know it's cold. What to do? Simple answer. And it just, and I'm like, what? Seriously? This is so right. He told his mind that he wears bare minimum socks. His
mm.
normal clothes and socks because that's the place that gets you
Yeah.
cold and everything. He wears socks and then he teaches where all of us are like in layers, blankets in the school, everything is there in the class. So we are in like every possible comfort, and he's like, what to do? So you have to teach your mind, and that's what when I went back to what you said, and I related that okay, and then you told me that Shraddha, your back problem is I think psychosomatic because it maybe it's not there, maybe you're just thinking that it's there.
Right.
So that's when like you need someone also to tell you this, and when someone tells you, you should not ridicule that person because maybe that someone's coming from the school of thought and just want to impart that thought to you. So
Right.
that lesson kind of helped me evolve is what I would say.
Very nice. See, that's what we need somebody else to tell me. Here also, I always tell them, after a certain age, right? When we are kids, mata pita ka hath, they keep telling us what to
Yeah.
do, what is right, what is not right. We learn from them. But when we start being on our own, financially, socially, emotionally, we need people. But sometimes now in the Indian conditioning, what happens is, once you start earning, you are independent. That becomes a thing, and many times, we don't get gyan from our parents. They stop giving that gyan. Okay, and sometimes we don't eat, we eat so many things which we are not supposed to eat, which is not good for us, and we get into problems, and then we solve our problems and all of those things. So when people come here, I also tell them, does your mother or your father call you and ask you, what time did you wake up today? Because some of them are working in shifts, they sleep till 12 in the morning or 1 in the morning. They just get up, freshen up, eat, and leave to work. There is no other activity at all. So we need people to tell us whether it is a parent or whether it is a close friend or a mentor or a teacher or somebody like that. We should not ridicule. As you said, we should definitely not ridicule. Even today, when I go to my teacher, she asks, "Kitna Surya Namaskar karte ho?" So
Yeah.
I said 21 only. So she says, Kal se na 27 karo. I did no, I don't have anything else to say. I said, oh, okay, just few more, right? I think I can do. There is no, I cannot say anything else. We can add a few more, no problem. I told her, okay, from
Yeah.
tomorrow I will try to do 27. She said, you try and do 27 from tomorrow. I said, okay, we will do it. So I am eager. Actually, I am eager to listen, from others, mostly the people are with themselves. They don't tell others.
Hmm.
We will keep everything to ourselves. Why should we give, gyan like that? But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, in some capacities, as a teacher, I am bindas. I'm going to tell. You
Yeah.
may think otherwise, the student, but it is my job. If I see a problem in front of me, I think at least
Yeah.
I will tell you that this is what I see from my perspective. You acknowledge, you deny, you do what you want about it. If you want me to help you, I'm here.
Hmm.
So I think
Yeah.
that is where I am. Sometimes I also feel I get very attached, after a person is suffering. I hear that a person is suffering from a problem. I push myself to approach the person and try to solve the problem. But sometimes it doesn't work like that. They shut their doors and it doesn't work. We have seen that because in cancer hospitals, I have seen, they are ready to talk about so many things, but when it comes to, they say, I have a problem here, I have a problem here, I have mouth ulcers. I say, okay, you do this mudra and you drink basil seeds water, you will have, the body will remain cool and you will not have mouth ulcers. If I say that, okay, okay, no problem. Okay, they're ready to talk, but not ready to implement what they talk. So that is where the problem is. So how do you envision your journey from now on? Now that you have finished your teacher's training, how do you envision your journey from now on? How do you tell that?
So I think I want to learn more. So the hunger gets into you. Like when you do little, when you start, then there's no end when it comes to learning all these things. Like you want to learn more. I have already made plans for the year, what to do, what to learn online, what to learn offline. But at least there's a plan. I don't know how it will turn out because it's every day is different. We get up to a different day. So, but I have a plan when it comes to learning. So I'll want to follow, and I don't want to just rush into anything. Like so far, I've been very slow because if I've been doing yoga for close to 5.5 and 6 years. People become a lot more advanced when if they have like a strong healthy body, I should say. I don't know if that's the right word, but then I am a little slower compared to them, but then I'm okay with it, and I'm going to take slow. I'm going to learn before telling anyone. I want to be very very sure myself as to how to help others. Before helping, I want to be extremely sure of that.
And if you add something, see, you can't always be sure of everything, and then you can't be perfect, and then you cannot say, I will do only then I will start to impart that knowledge to somebody else. You learn along with them, actually. You know
Yeah.
something, and when you actually talk and you impart that knowledge during the process, you learn a lot. So I think you should not wait, till you think that you should learn this much or whatever. Yes, when you get more questions from people, that is when your knowledge will also start increasing, because you will go back to books, you will go back to your teacher, and you will try to extract that knowledge and you will discuss with them, and that is when all this, learning happens. So I think we cannot be perfect and then decide to do something, but start doing and then you will become perfect in that. So I think that is one thing I thought I should tell you. So what part of yoga do
And
you
as a
want to
parent,
specialize in? Yeah.
sorry, I didn't get your question.
What part of yoga you want to specialize in? Like I have seen yoga teachers specialize only in meditation, only in asanas, and only in mudras, only in chanting. There are it doesn't work like that, because everything coming
I
together
have
is,
to.
yeah, practice.
Hmm.
But I myself, when I did my teacher's training and when I did my masters, people specialized. One person was always doing only yoga nidra sessions, specialized in
Okay.
yoga nidra, like that. So, what do you have something in mind like that? You want to specialize in something?
To be honest, I don't have that yet, that specialization, but there's one thing that I want to make sure that I give a lot of attention to is alignment and adjustment,
Okay.
because I think there's a lot of misinformation about how we should do a physical asana or meditation or breathing. So I think alignment and adjustment are very important, but that associates to the asanas. So right now,
Correct.
that I can think of. Because
Okay.
for sure, I want to give attention to alignment and adjustment.
Mm. Okay. So, yeah, I think that is very important, as I see it, for therapy also, because alignments, adjustments, modifications, these are very important for people who actually need it for therapy. Say, for example, if you are asking somebody to do Trikonasana and the
Mm.
person is having a back pain, let us say, and they are not able to align the body and the posture to the side, they have a tendency to bend forward. and
Correct.
you have to align them, and when you have to give them a modified version of the practice, this understanding what you're saying, right? Alignment, that is
Mm.
very important. I think you should, that's a very good thing. I think that's good. And so, how do you want to? Do you plan to contribute back to, apart from teaching? I'm saying, like, you know, I did a class for about 3 years in an orphanage. There, in the beginning, it was total madness. It was total madness. All the children running helter skelter, and yeah, it was like, oh my God, how will I even teach these monkeys? How yeah,
Yeah.
they are just running and they have, they are not interested. They just want that 1 hour, free from their
Free.
schedule, because their
Yeah.
schedule is very tight. You do your homework, you do this, you do that, and then when they say 1 hour, we are going to get to a place where these people don't watch us. Only one yoga teacher is going to see and we'll take her for a ride. So this was the thing, and it took so many months for me to get adjusted to those kids, and it took a few more months for them to approach me and then ask me something. That was an achievement for me. I think I took a class for about 3 years, just before COVID and 2 years after COVID.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was my challenge. That was in my teaching career till now. This is one big challenge I have seen with children. Not all children, people who come to the classes. I've taken kids class in a setup outside also, but that was more of, the parents are there and they say, okay, you go to the yoga class and then you learn, and it's like another school for them. But in orphanage kind of setting, they have they are bindas, they are very open-minded kids, and they're ready for anything, and they loved the classes. After it took 4 5 months, after that they loved the classes and they all waited for the class. And the way they did shirshasana, the way they did sarvangasana, halasana, these are loved by kids actually. And after so many months, and then I got that satisfaction. Oh my God! Now the kids are actually spread across the Karnataka. After COVID, after 2 years of 2 cycles of COVID, they got moved to different hostels. So I believe they are all practicing. I get to meet and speak with the person who ran that orphanage also. Yeah, that is it. So, did you face any challenges like that, during your teacher's training? Were you asked to give a class, a demo class or something? Was it
Yes.
you identify any challenge? That is my question. By the way, we
Yeah,
have
we
just
were
about
asked.
5 to 6 minutes more.
Yes, yes, sure. So we were given a class to teach that you have to teach your own class. Like if you're we were with a group of 20 to 24 students in our batch. So we had to teach them and correct them. And so they tell us that you pick any asana and then
Okay.
you correct them. And then you have to correct like a teacher in a class, and then you have to make sure that you stick to the um, like you should not touch too much a person. You should use your hands, you should use your fingers, you should not like hold someone like that. So all the tricks and techniques that they taught us we had to
Yeah.
apply. So trust me, it is difficult to align a posture with your fingers like this. It's not easy. Now I understand how you used to like correct us. Just like you will just come and like Shudha straight, look forward,
Yes.
stabilize. So yeah, that is actually pretty challenging. It looks easy when as a student we look at teacher, but then the teacher also has to understand that and how
Yeah.
to fix someone's body. Like when they're in the asana and struggling, it's an actual
Yes.
struggle actually for the teacher also. Plus,
Yes.
I should have strength too. Like if I'm helping someone with a half handstand, but that person has literally no arm strength. So I have to put my strength, but I
Yeah.
don't have to hold also. So I need to be powerful to hold that person. So
Nice.
that's
That's the challenge. Good. So
yeah.
yeah, touching a person and teaching is mostly not allowed in some schools of yoga. It is right also. But sometimes what we need to do is to build the confidence in the, you know, practitioner. We need to help them and
Yeah.
also let them know that, it's all right. Now I'm doing it. Maybe I'll not be there available the next time you do it. So you have to know that this is what it is. And the philosophy of the yoga schools we follow, that also plays a very important role, I think. Yeah.
Correct, correct. And then if
Okay.
we help, it just makes them go to the muscle memory. So the next time when they do, the memory itself like understands how much to do.
Yes, yes. Wonderful, wonderful. Nice talking to you, Shraddha. I think we are coming to close.
Yes,
So, if yes, let us continue to connect like this. And I want to contribute to people around me, the society, because I cannot see the suffering, what happens around. That is my weakness. If the first thing, even if they don't ask me, I will say, "You please do this. You will be better." Because I
yeah,
can't see them suffer. So my motto is to reduce the suffering as much as possible, because death is inevitable, no problem. But reduce the suffering. If the understanding of yoga is there, I think that will automatically reduce. The physical suffering, not sure, but the mind says, okay, either you accept it or, you just deal with it. You will have the strength to deal with the pain and all of
yeah.
that. That is why yoga is required, I think, for all of us. So let's connect more often, and we will make sure that we spread this message to one more person and one more person, so that they
Yes,
also spread the message to the whole world like that. Hari Om.
yes. Carry on.
Take care. Bye bye.
You too. Bye bye.